The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Hello and good evening. It is Thursday, October 5th, 2023. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, the boss, Otis Wiley. And Jehuu Jehuu Caulcrick is on assignment today. He's not upset. He's just doing some other business right now, but if this is your first time to the show, we want to welcome you. If this is not your first time, we thank you. Don't forget to click your like and subscribe buttons and go to the live chat. That's where the party is at. Let us know where you're watching us from, because right now they're watching us in Southfield, Michigan, Lake Forest, Illinois, Switzerland, Aruba, and France. Worldwide. Oh, I don't know.
The brand.
How you been, man?
I've been good, man. Been good. Just trying to catch up from work. After that trip to Iowa City. But we're just trying to get it everything going during the bye week for football. But we got some great things happening this week, and I know we're going to touch on it. But basketball is almost there. You got the countdown. It's we're talking preseason camp. What do they call it? They don't call theirs like a fall camp like football, but they're going into work and get ready for Midnight Madness, which is next Friday. But the end zone campouts this Friday. So when the end zone campout starts, that's when you smell basketball in the air. On that same night, though, or say the next night, you got hockey starting out. So this is where crossover starts to get real busy, when multiple sports start to just cross over.
Your hair is on fire. You got to cross over. You're running from stadium to stadium. And, Otis, you've been out there dancing, too. Don't think we're forgetting about that. That's coming up the same day, right?
My knees are barking, boy. They ready to just stop.
The aging process is a beautiful thing. I saw you in the video, man. I mean, hey, you got some stiff confidence. You're gonna be ready to go, man. And just little ibuprofen. Is that what you need?
Man, I need something, boy. I'm out here feeling like Shaquille O'Neal and that icy hot, like. But you know what? That's I need great. Though? I do need though. I need more votes and donations, because right now we ain't winning. We ain't winning, but we will win probably in the best of style. I'm gonna claim that and the routine. But right now we losing the race out here in the votes and raising funds.
No. We can't have that. So we're gonna put that graphic up here again for everybody, so you're sure. We're putting this in the front of the show, not the back of the show, so you can hit the QR code here that Tony's putting up for you right now. Vote. Drop a little $5?
$5 a vote. You can go $100 per transaction. So we need to stack up, man. Just let me know if you're having any issues with it. But we got to at least climb and try to compete, because we're in 6th place. I think that is the last one. I don't know, man. So it's all good, baby. But
no, they ain't all good. No, you got to get better.
Great calls.
We're handing that collection plate around. I know the people in the chat are gonna help out. Steve Smith and the gang, Sean, all the guys are gonna help.
Oh, you name dropping her. Now you calling it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying, fellas. Get to it.
Need some of that Pfizer money. Need some of that Pfizer money, Steve. Come on, baby. Now it's fitting here. Like, I didn't plan this to be in basketball facility during our show tonight. But I'm here doing, some work and corporate partnership of, making sure activation is good in the practice facility. But it's fitting that I'm here in basketball. We're going to be talking about our lovely basketball team and Father Tom, man. We're going to get right to it, right?
Yes, sir. Speaking of that, there it is. MSU basketball held its media day on Tuesday this week, and there's a lot of buzz surrounding this team, Otis. You just talked about it a little bit. You got, behind you the Wall of Fame with a lot of NBA talent. This year's team is very good. Preseason top 5 in just about every preseason poll that's out there. Tom Izzo was able to speak to the media this week, and he had some interesting things to talk about, didn't he?
Oh, he did, man. This is what I love about Coach, right? Like, he's going to tell you how he feels, right? He's not going to hide behind anything. He's going to tell it like it is. He's really the only few coaches in America that is allowed to say what he wants to say. He's earned that. He's earned that right. And for this program and what he's taken it to year over year over year, on top of the recruiting class he brought in this year, the sky is not even the limit. We go above that, right? And so I believe last year, we came in, we weren't even ranked last year, right? We weren't even ranked. No. There was a lot of questions happening where who's going to be the go-to person? Are we down this year? It's going to be a long – I remember people saying it was going to be a long season last year. Like, we are not going to be who, we are typically are in the basketball program. And I just love it because they just sit back and like, all right, we hear that, but y'all not in this with the gym. Like what Rick Ross say, you wasn't in there shooting with me.
Shooting in the gym?
In the gym?
You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym?
Edit that because I should have known that fully word for word verbatim, right? Anywho, I think there's an element of they are just doing the work. They're grinding, and they have always been that gritty blue collar, which you see in this quote. He doesn't hide from that. I am a blue collar coach. I coach a blue collar program. Michigan State's blue collar. I want guys that come here that want to be here and grind and work and be coached hard. And you see that from these guys. These guys are legitimately putting together that, how to sustain this year. We got a lot of people that we play across the country. It's like anytime, anywhere. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see the body of work, but the buzz is real. Usually it's a buzz where every year it's like hype, but the buzz is real, man. It is real.
It certainly is real. And here's a couple of quotes from Tom Izzo, head basketball coach of Michigan State basketball right here. We're going to pull him up. And he says, quote, "This is a top program. We built it into a top program. Everybody does it a different way. I've hid about nothing, that it's a blue-collar program, a blue-collar university, and I'm damn proud of it. And that's the way it's going to stay as long as I'm here." Tom Izzo.
Yeah.
Hey, like you just said, he says what he means what he says. And right there is him telling people, like, look, this is not a flashy, glitzy type of program. This is definitely blue-collar, meat and potatoes, going to hit you in the mouth and grind it out. And that's how they play the game.
Absolutely. You got to think about it. Like, I mean, for me, if we know the sport, we know, programs talk about the programs where they may mention, like, in my opinion, that quote right there is calling out all the other programs. Like, I'm not saying the program that I'm saying, I'm just saying what we're about, right? Like, I think that's the element of the professionalism of, hey, I know what we are. I know my identity. I know our players and our program identity. And this is what it is. So calling all recruits, basically, that's the call of calling all recruits. Like, you want to come here and you want to wear the green and white, this is what it is. Like, straight up. Like, ain't no gray area coming in. Like, that's the element of setting that tone from jump. And I love it. I mean, I get chills thinking about it, like the guy that who would not want to play for Coach Izzo. And, like, that's the element. He's using that to his advantage.
Yeah. Speaking of players that want to play for Tom Izzo, Jeremy Fears, the freshman guard, he had a quote about him, and he said some pretty high praises. Here, another quote from Tom Izzo, head basketball coach at Michigan State. "Fears is my Mateen Cleaves 20-something years later. He's a leader. He's vocal. He's helpful. He's gained a little weight, and he's gained some strength. He has to still continue to work on his shot, but has all the qualities to be a hell of a guard here." Now, I haven't heard that out of a freshman be praised like that out of the mouth of head coach Tom Izzo, and I don't think ever.
Now, I would say, I feel like he said it with Travis Walton from a leadership standpoint. Like, there's been qualities and characteristics in each of the guards we've had. But when he says full out, like, he don't say that lightly because Mateen is a son to him. Like, he is part of the family. And so, like you say it, like, he don't throw that out lightly. And so for the respect of putting that on the shoulders of a freshman. Now, I was able to witness Jeremy Fears when he was with Lalo Lemire. And he was playing our Springfield Hoopball Classic when I used to work for Learfield RMG. But I remember being there. It was his ESPN top recruit. He had Michigan State, but he was on that squad there. And then obviously his last year, he transferred back home to play with his brother. And this guy's game, like I was thinking about comparisons of like a Nate Robinson. Like he has the athleticism and like the slash, driving, taking the ball from one end to the next end. And he can lift, like he can jump, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's an element
comes down on the rim.
He can go, man. And I think that's a high motor. Like that's a guy who he doesn't seem like a freshman. Like he's played high competition basketball all the way in high school leading up to here. So he's been battle tested. And I feel like they may think he's undersized, but he's stopped like a little cornerback, man. That's what Coach Izzo loves, man, with those guys that they got a little beef to him where, he's going to lock down on defense, but I'm going to show you how I work with it. So Jeremy Fears is one of those guys. Now, Cohen Carr, though, on the other hand, you got Xavier Booker. Those are those guys that, I mean, listen, bro, like this boy's a tall drink of water. Like he's lanky, he's a Kevin Durant type look, you know what I mean? So the physicality is maybe something they may question, but this is added element to what we already have, which is crazy. Crazy. What we already have. And so the depth from when we had no depth last year, where we was like depleted, man, we done got it back, man. You still can't work about Trey Holloman. Like you can't forget about him and how he did things too. And maybe Jax Kohler and Cooper, like all those guys you can start name dropping. And we got seniority, we got senior leadership. It is a epic fail if we don't get to that promised land in the national championship.
Ooh, epic fail, man. I mean, AJ Hogarth's a guy, and then here's a quote that he had from Tyson Walker right here. And he says during the media days a couple days ago, we said it last year, we're the best court in the Big Ten, and now we feel like we're the best backcourt in the nation for sure. We just got to go out and prove it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's given, baby. Nothing's given. But they're going to come out and they're going to demand respect. And I think that's an element out. But I just saw Jay Niggas a few minutes ago, man. Like, that dude's he got compared to Gary Harris. Like, Izzo's throwing him out now. Like, he has this year.
I haven't heard this out of him in preseason now. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're talking about a freshman he's giving Mateen Cleaves praise to, and he hasn't officially played for Michigan State yet. In front of the crowd. This is amazing. And we've all seen different highlights of these guys collectively around, and you've seen them up close. You're over there right now. They're practicing, bro, with you.
Bro. So I've never seen in my life a kid that flies. And Cohen Carr, he flies in the air. And I'm talking like it looks not even human, like the way he flows. And you got dreads too, so that thing like kind of gives you also a little flair. Like he says, he's going to be probably the best dunker in Michigan State's history. And we know we've had some outstanding dunkers, like guys that can go above the rim. This dude lives there. He sleeps and naps there. Like I've seen it. Usually you see highlights like, oh yeah, but when you go in person, you're like, I've never seen anything. Like even the pros that were here for that grind week, they're looking like, oh my God. He's built like
basketball, isn't it?
He's built like a wide receiver. Like man, listen. I'm excited to see, like, if you're in town, you got to come out to Midnight Madness next Friday, and you got to witness it for yourselves because hockey and basketball, those two are the hottest tickets in town. and you standing like you gonna be like, if you don't get tickets now, don't be hitting nobody up really, because ain't nobody gonna have any tickets.
I know a way to get some tickets. I know you need to call up my man Otis if you got a business and you want to market it. Look, this is the hottest show in the nation, not just in town. Call Otis, and I'm sure you'll get some tickets that way. get some get your business
ABC,
out there, man.
Hey, always be closing, baby. We always get a corporate partnership in there.
All day long.
All day long, right?
It works. It works, and you don't have to pay $20 million like you might have to downtown Detroit. I'm just saying, but look, this is a great ticket, and it's going to be one of the best basketball backcourts, front courts. I mean, we talk about the backcourt, the front court. Mady Sissoko, he opens up. You talk about a guy, with all the drama going around the world right now, NIL. Here's a kid. He's an international kid from Africa. He took his NIL because international students aren't allowed to profit from NIL, but he built a school in Mali back in his hometown. What an incredible gesture and thing for a young man like him to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think about it. You're a direct product of opportunity coming and playing on in the States, but it's all in vain if you don't pay it back or pay it forward to how these are kids now looking up to Mady. They're looking up to him, but that's how the sport is a global reach, right? And I think you're utilizing that platform the right way, like how it's supposed to be intended for. And so obviously during the last year, he did and ran a camp there, right? And he was opening up other stuff, but right then and there, man, like that is a guy who gets it, knows what he is capable of, and he's using his platform for the greater good. And just know these guys now, we have global reach in his hometown, home country in Michigan State. These kids are saying go green, go white. You know what I mean? Like that's the power of a global brand, and all the stuff we're dealing with right now on campus, the chaos, et cetera. We have guys that's rising above that, and they're embracing this, but also saying we still are doing great things. So shout out to Mady. I would say shout out. It's the kudos, like kudos to Mady, because that's bigger than you, right? That's talking about bigger than me. That's bigger than you, and he's doing it, and I love it for it.
Yeah, if you haven't been able to catch up on the details of this, The Athletic, Dana O'Neill from The Athletic wrote a terrific article on this. He cannot profit off his NIL, so he built a school instead. We'll post it on our social so you can get a chance to read it. Great read for a great man, Mady Sissoko, doing great things. I mean, this is just the beginning, and this is going to be an exciting season, which gives him a bigger platform to show the world what Spartan Nation is all about. Just exciting things. Otis, man, we got all kinds of stuff to cover. I mean, Michigan State basketball is going to be huge this year. In hockey, we just had Adam Nightingale on a couple of days ago.
By the way, man, great show. You and Chew.
Yeah, did you like that?
Now, listen, man, like, we don't claim we're professionals and experts in every sport. We love it, the sports, right? We love every sport. But to have Scott Moore, legendary voice for the hockey program, and then Adam, legendary Spartan, who has taken our program to heights quicker than anybody, I feel like, has turned the program around. That was a great one. Obviously, yesterday he had his opening coach's radio show. So we'll see. We'll get some stuff, updates from that. But great one. Great show, fellas. Great show.
Oh, man, we really appreciate that. Don't know how it always turns out, but look, we're trying to do the best we can, what we got. And, we're going to expand one day. We're going to get those coaches shows streaming so people can see them. We're working on things. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes people don't see yet. A lot of hard work. When you miss a show or Chew misses a show, or even if whatever, we're not just sitting around hanging out at the bar. We're doing some good stuff. So trust that. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes as well, those that you don't see. So it's a team effort. 100% team effort, and we're all blessed to be in a position to be able to bring a closer look at Spartan Nation to you, whoever's listening and watching this, on YouTube. So, look, kudos to all of us, I guess. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. and follow us on all of our social media platforms at This Is Sparta MSU, X, Instagram, Facebook, everything. We're all over the place. But we'll be back. We have to catch up with our main man, Jordan Main from the Main Financial Group, after these messages from our friends over at IHOP and SeatGeek.
Introducing IHOP's new menu with perfectly crispy yet fluffy waffles, warm, flaky buttermilk biscuits, juicy, satisfying steak burgers, decadent eggs Benedicts, and more. It's time to find your new favorite. Don't worry, we won't tell the pancakes. Only at IHOP. Let's put a smile on your plate.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Well, now we're being joined by one of my favorite guys, the president of the Main Financial Group, Jordan Main, joins This Is Sparta MSU. Welcome to the show, Jordan.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. We are excited to have you as a partner with Michigan State Athletics and in Playfly Sports. But, we're more excited for you to get the opportunity to talk about your story and say, you're a Spartan, right? And we'll get into that. But tell us a little bit about you and where you came from. How did it all start? Where's Jordan? Who is Jordan Main?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So let's go way back to my old man, football player out of Benton Harbor High School. You know anything about the Benton Harbor Tigers?
The Harbor. Oh, yeah. You got some Harbor reps in the chat? Oh, absolutely.
Class of 1964. One of his best buddies was Ernie Hudson. You remember him, the famed actor Ernie Hudson? He was in Ghostbusters and all kinds of things. Yeah. So, my dad was the youngest of 8 in the Section 8 housing, which is also known as the projects, and college football saved his life. He got an offer to go play both at Michigan State and Central, and he took the offer at Central Michigan, and he missed out on 2 national championships.
You're talking about Duffy Daugherty, right?
That's right, Duffy. That's right. Duffy told my dad that I don't know if you'll play, you could make the team, but we'll see. Because back then, freshmen didn't play, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah, freshman team.
Mm-hmm. He was a bit arrogant and said, I'm going to go up to Central Michigan. And he missed out on 2 national championships, 65-66.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
Could have hung with Bubba Smith, man.
That's right. So he played. That's right, Bubba Smith. There's some great players on that roster. And
Mad Dog.
He met my mom up there at Central. They both were school teachers. My dad was a high school football coach. So all of our life, we moved around middle of Michigan. So he coached at these small schools that you may have never heard of: Hemlock High School, Merrill, Clare, Bullet Creek. And so I was a coach's kid, every Friday night after games, watching film and those type of things. And even though my dad went to Central, he was a diehard Spartan. All of his a couple of his guys from his team played at Michigan State. So we always grew up loving Michigan State. And then ultimately, my dad became an athletic director at high school. And then he was my high school principal. So if you can imagine that.
How was that? Hold on. You had a dad that was a principal of your high school?
He was I walked across the stage and shook his hand for my diploma. So there were good parts and bad parts to that.
I bet. I mean, so you're walking in the halls and people are, doing what they do in high school. And you're like, my dad's right here. How was that?
Well, I tell you, the one thing is I could never con him on anything. He already knew where all the parties were and what was happening. He had his little snitches that told him everything. So I wasn't getting away with nothing. So.
Smart man.
Yeah.
So your dad's a principal in high school. And what school was this?
This was Bullet Creek High School in Midland. Small little school. I had 89 people in my high school senior class. So small school.
Wow, 89. Yeah. Okay, so you come from humble beginnings, and then you go and transition to Michigan State.
Yeah, I came here in 1995, and I thought, boy, did I get a short end of the stick. We had 2 rookie coaches in 1995. Our basketball coach named Tom Izzo, and our football coach named Nick Saban. And boy, I thought I got the short end of the stick, and was I wrong? 2 Hall of Famers.
Oh man, so you came in at the right time. I remember that.
Yeah,
94. Yeah. We were on campus at the
That's right.
same time.
You were a year behind, but we're both 1976 birthdays. So
2 days apart.
that's right. 2 days. That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you come to Michigan State. Did you play sports at Michigan State?
Yeah, I tried to walk on the golf team, so I had a cup of coffee with the golf team a little bit, but wasn't a varsity athlete, but was a diehard supporter of all the sports. And when we graduated, I graduated in 2000, the year of the championship team. We've always, for the last 23 years, held season tickets to multiple sports, given endowments, donated back to the university, and we live in Brighton, Michigan, which is only a half an hour away. So pretty much try to get to East Lansing every week. We're diehards.
You definitely are, and we appreciate all the support that you've given. I know that you give to several different athletic institutions as well as the academic institutions at Michigan State. We can get into all of that in other shows because I know that baseball and lacrosse is a big thing that you've done, and now with football. Yeah. But when you look at you went and majored at Michigan State in accounting, is that right?
I was an accounting major, correct? Yeah.
So what did you do with that after you left Michigan State?
Yeah. So went into public accounting, and right after I graduated, and ended up hating or despising, I guess is a better word, financial people, because I would be doing the tax work for a client. Let's say you're our client, Jason, and some stockbroker will get you to buy and sell and move money all over. And I had to pick up the pieces and clean up the tax return. And I never understood why there wasn't tax planning as part of your investment strategy. So I decided to get our investment licenses in 2002, and then ultimately started my own firm in 2005 with the idea of we're going to be someone's personal CFO. We'll handle all the taxes. We'll handle their investments. We'll handle everything that goes into that space. And I think it's kind of a niche market. People either seem to be all financial or all tax-based. It's very few firms kind of bring that together.
This is true. You see that a lot with the high net worth individuals and families where they have what's called a family office. That's the really wealthy people that have their own CFO, chief financial officers, that kind of run things along with tax and lawyers and whatnot. So you are able to do that for those people, but also the people who are just starting out, trying to begin businesses. And that's where I want to take this discussion. We talked a lot about sports, and every time we have a coach on or a player, NIL is a part of the discussion, name, image, likeness, and players now being able to profit off of that. With that, I do hear a lot from parents about and players. Like, I want to start a business, and how do I get to do that with things like LLC? Is that something that you can walk them through or help them with?
Absolutely. And that's imperative that all these players and their parents, if they're part of the NIL and helping them through, why pay more tax than we need to, right? Use the tax laws that are available. And that's right. The LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Corporation, is the easiest way to begin a business. And think of it as now your brand is your own business. So everything that you do or your parents do that is in and around that business now becomes tax deductible and will lower the ultimate tax bill that you have to pay. Things from your clothing to your travel to your cell phones to even vehicles. You have to be over a certain poundage, but you can get a big SUV or a truck and put it in that LLC and be able to deduct all of that off of your profit, which ultimately reduces your tax bill. So there are so many things, because everything these young men do are building their brand. If they go to a high school game and make an appearance and they have expenses to get there and cost of tickets, that's building their brand. If they go do a signing somewhere, whatever they do that's building their name, image, and likeness, any expenses around that are tax deductible to lower what you're going to pay. So it seems straightforward to us because we do this every day, but I definitely can understand all these young kids and their parents who have never been in this space. It's a lot to digest.
It certainly is. So what is that? How do you help them with that? Is that something they could call you for and ultimately ask you to set up an LLC for them? Because I know there's a lot of angst on how do we do that? How do we do EIN number? How do we set up a business banking account? Is that something?
Sure, absolutely. We use the analogy of we're like a personal CFO for players, their families, helping them get their business organized, helping them get their accounting and tax done, helping them manage their money to maximize the interest they're earning. So we do all that. It's kind of a niche boutique that we've built. But yeah, I use the personal CFO analogy quite frequently.
Yeah. So how does someone get a hold of you? I know we talk about it on the show a lot of times and in the post-game show after football games, but how does a family or player in any sport or anywhere in the world get a hold of Jordan Mady?
Yeah, so it's in today's world, it's easy with all that. So our website is mainfinancialgroup.com. Our phone number is 248-347-MAIN, but you can also call my buddy Stray at any time and he can find me.
Always call me and I can find Jordan. You know how to get a hold of me through all of our social media platforms.
We go way back, you and I.
Yes, we do. We do. I mean, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And you know, there's a lot of things that you can also do when it comes to retirement, right? I mean, we can talk a little bit about that because I don't want to glaze people over on this particular one because you're going to bring Jordan back. Jordo, this is his nickname, Jordo. Jordan Mady.
That's right.
Jordo's going to be coming back and talking more about it, but you also do retirement work for people who are more into that kind of strategy too, correct?
Sure. So for all the parents of the players here that are getting close to retirement, boy, the last 15 years, the stock market has been wonderful, but we've seen 2022 a major turn backwards. And as of yesterday's market crash, the market is now negative for the year. So all of a sudden, taking a look at if we're inside of 10 years of retirement, we have to look at strategies to protect ourselves, right? So everyone is probably seeing on any channel you turn on, they're talking about a recession. A recession is a slowdown in the economy. And that's the whole point of raising interest rates like they've done for the last year and a half, is to slow things down. Like, when is the last time you tried to get a mortgage, Jason? Like, what are the rates out there?
I mean, right now, I think they're in the mid sevens. They used to be under 4. I mean, they were like under 3 not long ago, but they're getting up there. So that's limiting the amount of house that you can afford in today's economy.
Absolutely. And that's the whole point, is to get people to stop spending money to slow the economy down, which will bring inflation down. So credit card balances are the highest they've ever been in our history. And the rates on those are in the 20%. If you're trying to buy vehicles, the interest rates are high. So it's starting to work, but we have a recession that will be coming at some point, or at least a slowdown. I guess the terminology could be different. So what are some of the things that you can do to protect yourself, especially if you're close to retirement? I think there's 3 pretty key points. The first one is to really manage your own level of risk. What risk are you comfortable with, Stray? Are you an aggressive investor? I use the miles per hour analogy. Do you like to drive 85 and go fast with your portfolio, or are you
maybe 15 years ago?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Not anymore.
Or do you want to go slower on the side road? So make sure that your portfolio is driving the speed that you want it. That's the first part. The second part is know what your I call it your uncle point is, or your ejection point. How much are you willing to lose before you say, I'm done, stop it, stop the pain, so to speak? So we call that downside hedging. What is our strategy to protect the downside? And then the last thing is maximizing interest rates. So while these high interest rates are annoying when we're trying to borrow money, boy, they're great in our investment portfolio. You can get short-term CDs at 6%. Money markets, which are very liquid cash equivalents, are roughly 5%. And you can even get some annuities at 8%. So let's maximize those interest rates while they're still high.
Those are some great points right there. I like that uncle analogy. You're talking about like twisting the arm. Uncle. That's right. You know, how much pain tolerance do you have? Jordan, look, this is great information. You know, we're so happy to have you as a partner with this Sparta MSU and Michigan State Sports Properties. You know, this is something that we're going to continue to do, bringing you back on the show. Your background story is phenomenal. Kid from the projects right here. Son of a coach and teachers, and a principal, by the way, has now come into Spartan Nation to help give back to the Spartans and teach you how to build brand new and retire in comfort. Isn't that what it is? Spartan Nation's #1 wealth manager, Main Financial Group. Jordan, Thank you so much for your time today. Welcome to this Sparta MSU Nation, and we will love to have you back here in a couple of weeks.
Thanks so much for having me, and go green.
Go white. Jordan Main. Great one-on-one conversation with Jordan Main over at Main Financial Group. And speaking of Main Financial Group, it is time now for the Main Financial Group Stat Breakdown, brought to you by Main Financial. Secure your future with Main Financial Group. Otis, Michigan State football right now currently sits at 2-3 on a 3-game losing streak. 7 games left on the schedule as we pull it up here. And 3 of those 7 games are against top 6 nationally ranked opponents in University of Michigan, team down the road, Ohio State, and Penn State. But the first opponent coming up here a week after this bye week that we're currently in is Rutgers. Let's talk about Michigan State's chances, because bowl eligibility is still on the table right now. And as you know how hard they've been playing in the last 2 games, there's still a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the, unranked squad teams that we got to go against, you got Rutgers, you got Minnesota, which is a road game, and then you got Nebraska at home. And so when you think about those, is okay, we got two wins right now. We're 2-3. Can we at least get those 3? And then we got to look at these top-ranked programs that we're going against. And in my opinion, as a former player, we talk about those are those games that you are looking to put your best body of work together. Because, you may have some decent body of work, but we also didn't get the win column. And so what am I looking at from a standpoint? It is game by game. We can't look ahead. We don't have the luxury to even look ahead. We got to handle week by week. So going to New Jersey, traveling, it's another road test. That atmosphere is also electric. It's really these battle testing our guys and our character and who we are, right? Are we going to rise up to it, look at adversity in its face, and we got to go demand respect and really play, because we have players. And it's really you want to rally and try to get this going, and everything feels like it's stacked up against you. Nothing's going what's according to plan. Everyone has set this plan to have more success than what we're having right now. So you got to look at it in its face and say, hey, what can I do? What can we do? Is every individual's got to bring their best. And I think that's the element of this off week is we got time to get rest. We got time to heal up. We got some guys that's bruised and battered. Can we all get healthy and let's put our best body of work, where we got 2 weeks to prepare, this week, next week to prepare for Rutgers. And so I live in the space and life is there's always victory and defeat. That was my whole mantra and motto. Yeah, we may have lost. Okay, let's look at what we did best and what can we fix. And it's always victory in those defeats. There's always lessons. We don't take losses. There's learned lessons. And the mentality of keeping that tone and that attitude and that mentality of positivity in this midst of chaos, that's where I think these guys got to make sure they're resting on, because everyone outside has counted us out. That's not even a doubt, shadow of doubt. Right. Everybody has counted us out, right? Everybody's turned their head to who's the future leader of our program. No, we're here in the now. This is who we got. And I think my heart goes out to these guys because, that's we've all kind of lived it and breathed it. But, from a former player, this is our program, right? Straight. This is our program. And
no question.
And we have to, we got to rally through these guys and say, look, man, you still got a lot of football left. And out of those 3 ranked teams, Stray, anybody can be beat. I don't care who it is, right? Anybody can be beat. Just like when we were ranked, we went to Iowa and they smacked us, man. They were ranked, they smacked us. We went to Washington last year, smacked us. We were ranked. So it can be done. You just got to keep out here and balling out, man. So, what are your thoughts, Stray? It's a gauntlet. This is crazy, right? It's going to be a gauntlet, but we already knew that when we were preparing for this.
Yeah, it is a gauntlet, but there's some spots in there. I think with 7 games remaining, you got 2 wins, so the target is 6 for everybody listening at home. You got to get the 6 wins in order to be bowl eligible, and bowl eligibility for this team, it's a massive win, especially considering what they've had to endure. I don't even think Vegas had Michigan State over. Was it like 4.5 game total? That's somewhere where the over/under was for the win total for Michigan State prior to losing its head coach and Mel Tucker. So now with 2 wins, you talked about going on the road to Rutgers. You brought up Minnesota. You have Nebraska at home, but then there's also that Indiana game that's on the road.
Got the Bloomington, yeah, forgot Bloomington.
Yeah, that Bloomington game is a game that's a game that should be winnable on paper. This is no disrespect. Don't try to make any kind of bulletin board material out of what we're saying on this show. We're just talking because we
winnable
have
games,
winnable games on paper. We can look into the future because we're not in that locker room right now. Like in that locker room, you got to look at the right now. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the locker room, this is what when you guys retire and hang up them cleats and sit in these seats, then you can talk about the future. So that's where we are right now, and this is what we got to do. We got to prospectively look at it and try to educate the fan base on how we can get there, right? And I see Rutgers is definitely look, the way they played against Maryland and Iowa on the road, I don't see why they couldn't go into Piscataway, New Jersey, and come out with a W there. Michigan, they're going to play high, right? If you have a pulse, that's going to be a big game. I don't see this team, the way that they fought against Maryland, and obviously the way they went on the road and played against Iowa, I don't see them allowing the school down the road to come into Spartan Stadium. Yeah, that's our first home game after about 3 weeks off away from home. I think that's going to be an electric atmosphere. We don't know the kickoff time just yet. I know there was talk of it being a night game. We don't know that yet. But, man, I imagine that atmosphere will be crazy.
Sunday or Monday, the 8th or the 9th. Well, we should know. So
we should know soon, huh?
We should know soon.
Yeah.
So.
I expect there to be a lot of beverage sales that day too.
I thought you was going to use a different word. Libations.
Either octane, well-oiled crowd. Them black unis. I'm thinking the black unis are coming out for that one. That's going to be so we got some, the crowd is getting more educated because they heard how that blackout in Iowa City affected our offense on the road. So I expect the same thing from our home crowd against the school down the road. Are you kidding me? I don't want to hear J.J. McCartney being able to get a call off. I don't want him to be able to know what the snap count is. That's the kind of game that's going to be. Then you go on the road to Minnesota. Minnesota's got all kinds of stuff going on, man. They lost to Northwestern. You talk about a team in turmoil. Northwestern's gone through the same thing. They lost their coach right before the season started. It's controversial. So, and they were able to beat Minnesota. So Minnesota, P.J. Fleck and those guys ain't rowing the boat too steady and straight right now. So there's an opportunity there. So I think, when you look at that, you look at Nebraska, they got smoked by Prime. That's a team, it's winnable. Too.
Yeah, Michigan really.
Yeah, Michigan just, what was that, 41-6 or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's that. These aren't teams that are just like juggernauts that come in here just so good they're just going to blow you off the door. Ohio State's going to be a challenge, right? Ohio State, they're not a C.J. Stroud-led team, okay, where they're going to hang 49 on you before halftime. I don't see that. They do have great players. Let's just call it how it is. Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy who they're saying will be the second pick in the draft. And Caleb Williams out of USC comes out. There's talent there, but we've done it before. I've been able to go into Ohio State as a senior in 1998 when they were ranked number 1. It's been done. We've beaten Ohio State, a highly ranked Ohio State team, several times throughout the history, at home and away over in the Horseshoe. So, look, this is something that Michigan State can pull off and be able to get to that bowl eligibility and turn this season. What would that be like? What would the talk be if Harlan Barnett is able to orchestrate a bowl game out of this team after all that they've been able to go through? This will be one of the most recognized teams without a Big Ten championship in history, if they can do it. And when you talk to coaches and you ask them who was their best team, they don't always say the national championship team. And it's the teams that were able to do something great. This is great. You know, the effort that we see as former players that we saw on display on Saturday until the end. And there were some plays that weren't made, but the effort, the energy, the focus, the intensity, it was there, man. I mean, I don't know many Spartans. I get a lot of text messages from people that, man, no, this is terrible. I didn't get much of that after that game. None of it. You know, there's quarterback play issues. Let's just call it what it is. There is quarterback play issues. And I trust the coaches to fix it one way or another. This is what the bye week is also for. We're going to get healthy, and we're going to get guys some reps. And I don't see there being just blind faith in any one guy playing any position, especially the quarterback position right now. Nobody's earned that. And I think that Noah Kim will say that himself. You know, I don't think this is something that's trying to belittle the young man. He's struggling. But young people can change overnight. That's one thing for sure. And Harlan Barnett is in a position, and the coaching staff is in a position like, what do they have to lose? They want to win now. They want to win. They're all coaching for their collective lives right now. It's not a secret. So yeah, Otis, to your point, you know, we get into those games and then Indiana on the road, which is it's not a lay down. When we go over to Bloomington, Indiana, that's a tough game, a little sneakily tough type of game, but definitely a winnable game. And then obviously at home at Ford Field, Thanksgiving, the Friday after Thanksgiving. I mean, everybody in the Detroit metro area and all around mid-Michigan just come on over to the east side and man, blow the roof off of that Ford Field and make it a tough game for the Nittany Lions. You just listen, there's a lot that can happen. And I'm excited for the rest of the season. Otis, there's some players that we want to talk about that have impressed so far. We want to give Otis's Kudos Awards out for a couple of players right here. And, you know, for me, like we look at guys like Montorie Foster on the offensive side of the ball. He's had a great first start to the season. Right now, he's got 19 catches, 226 yards. You know, he's leading the team in receptions, averaging about 11.89 yards per catch.
And you know, Montorie will have probably more. There was a couple, major drop stats not truly in his DNA, and I think if you talk to him, he would obviously tell you that too. And his pops will, just think about if we're able to get him more touches, because clearly he's leading. He's made some big possession catches for us where we thought we were get 3 and outs, and he's came through. So we're hoping that this off bye week can give us some more body work with the quarterbacks and the timing. I think there was an element of just timing and being able to see the routes develop, right? Because there was like last weekend, man, like I feel for Noah Kim, because as you're sitting on the sideline, you're watching, no one can break separation, because like that's how their defense, Iowa's defense was set up so sound, where mano, like they could not get any window of opportunity for Noah to throw the ball when all guys were out there running routes. So, you got to figure out
what is that from, Mike, as a defensive secondary? Because that's what I wanted to ask you about the other day. Like when you're playing defense, why is it? Because I saw the same thing when we were watching it. The guys couldn't get separation. What causes that lockdown?
Man, listen, physicality at the front line, starting out from start stance and getting out the route, off the break, off the line. There was always some type of physical touch, push, whatever it was, on the receiver. Also, you got linebackers, their linebackers were so sound in that hook curl that it was like you're covering up those windows for the quarterback to even think about where to throw a placement, or even say, I see this dig, I see this slant, I'm gonna throw it a little bit leading, for the receiver to, before he gets to his break of his route, that ball should be there. But some of those windows were closed quick. I mean, you also, pressure, like there was every level of it, like pressure with Noah's dropping back. And there's elements where if you look at Noah, there's times where you look at the replays in game, he always runs out when they're 3 and out. He kind of looks up to see, okay, what went wrong. There was elements where I feel like he could have stepped up more inside the pocket and kind of held firm, right? Held firm. It's okay to take the sack. It's okay. It is okay to take the sack. And then there's those throws, man, that, those double moves, man, where these guys truly were a well-coached defense. And that secondary, I was saying they were putting the fear of God in. I don't think they were putting the fear of God in our guys, but they were physical every chance they got. If you were running that ball, somebody's getting hit hard. Somebody's laying a smack. And that's where that element of we as a defense, we have to do a better job of is rerouting these receivers, putting hands on off the line, pressing, pressing belt, mixing it up. And I felt like there was someone in every area of the field, every chance they got. And so that's an element that I see where windows of opportunity with throwing that ball is very small for when you're playing an Iowa defense.
I know you've been talking a lot about that rerouting and jamming guys at the line. It was evident in Iowa when our receivers went off. It was hands, and they were
trying to get off, right? They're trying to get off.
Yeah.
Coach Hawkins does that drill. I see that drill when we go to practice. They're doing everything with the pass. They're putting everything so these guys are feeling it every time when they're running around. It's a fight. But every time I saw, like, when you go out the route and Noah's trying to see who's open, I'm looking at progression. I'm looking at who is going to develop, and no one could get off of that. Like, I never saw anybody wide open. Now, maybe there's a few. Clearly, there was a few things that maybe were missed. But I also don't feel like we attack the inside of the hash marks all the time. Like, we are doing a lot of outs, a lot of quick ones where no one's given pressure to stretch these safeties and make them make a decision inside the hash marks. So I'm hoping this week there's more of the battle testing of getting these guys to just we need more drag cross routes, and then you got a post. I didn't see one post attested throwing from Noah to a safe to a receiver in a post route. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
I didn't see it.
No, it was a lot out. You're absolutely right. When you brought up the middle of the field, and I want to give a couple more guys kudos here. Jerron Glover, Trey Mosley, obviously. One guy, Malik Carr, before he went out of the game, he was running those seam routes. He was in the soft part of the zone and turning up the field in the middle part of the field.
Absolutely, and we talked about that when we were doing our recap or our preparation for Iowa. Was you got to utilize. Remember, we talked about Malik has to have a day, and the first 8 touches was Malik. He was 6. So
6 for 6.
Noah was 8 for 8, right? By that time, but
he ended up because Malik caught the first 6 passes, and that 6th one he got hit and was out of the game. Yeah.
So we talked about boxing out. Like, we basically took Iowa's playbook and their tight end involvement, and we used Malik Carr and his talents. So for us, that really hurt because we also lost that production on the tight end when he went out. Now, I know he tried to get back, but they were hit, man. Like, they hit him once. That second one where I saw where he got hit right on the top
from the back.
From the back when he got hit, because he's a big dude, so it's going to take 3 or 4. But that last hit, man, it was like a straight dart to the back on the top of the neck where, of course, man, you try your best to keep going out there, but we lost that production where that was an option for Noah. That option is now released and gone, and the other options aren't getting open. So, I know we got to highlight some other guys. Like, I wanted to say, I know we highlighted some of the top defensive guys, but the entire defense, defense.
Before we get there, I don't want to forget about Nate Carter.
No, like Nate Carter was running. He was running like inside run drill all game, and this is where and I wish we can one game give Chew a headset on the side and you give me a headset and we can go back and forth, right? Like, why would we throw a double move in the red zone after we establish the first down and we are pounding and Nate Carter is going at these boys and we throw an interception? In my mind, I'm like, that's the touchdown that would have saved the grace of we wouldn't even be in this predicament of a 16-16 tie. Like, all we needed was to score 1 touchdown on offense. We scored on defense, but like, why would we do that? We are legitimately breaking wheel. We're finally getting momentum. We get in the red zone, and then we want to get cute and have a first down double move. It blew my mind while I was sitting there. Like after that, I'm like, I don't know what else we can do because Nate just put us on his back. Like he did a Marshawn Lynch, and he was running he was going positive yards. I probably saw that one tackle for loss, but that was negative. But he was getting positive yards. But Nate Carter,
he had a loss of 2 yards, but his net was 108. 20 carries for 108. That's a 5.4 average against a stingy defense.
100 yards every game. Like this man, he is. If we can get him some help, man, we are this. I feel like we're this close, right? We're like this close to really like putting 4 quarters together, and what we just do a self-inflicting wound. And I don't know if that's play call, decision making. It's all in the say. I can't blame one person because like we had chances to win that game. I've never seen a team give so many opportunities back to us to say, no, you take the win. No, I've never seen it. And I knew it was going to be a battle. I told you guys it was going to be a battle. And I've just never seen it like that outside of looking in. I'm no longer a player playing actively, but somebody make a play, man. Like just giving it. And then you leave it to a punt return to TD with just,
oh my God.
I will be boiled. We
broke this down in the last show, Otis. I mean, you brought up the double move, which wasn't because Cooper DeJean didn't even bite on the double move. He ran the no. Now, he was out. He went right to the corner.
Antonio Gates. I was looking at Antonio Gates on our end of the sideline because he was in too, and he had my man not shook, but he had it. If Noah would have threw that pass over to the left side, I think it would have been either a first down or it would have been at that goal line because he had it. But you can't even fault DeJean. This man, you're staring at him like quarterback staring at him clearly. Like this is, and the way he caught it was just like this is.
He was a receiver.
Yeah, it's practice. I do this in practice every day. Yeah. But let's go to the defense. I know we're running
defensive side of the ball. I know we're getting long in the tooth there, but look, there's good content here, guys. So on the defensive side of the ball, obviously Malik Spencer, who leads the team in tackles with 34. Cal Halliday, 33 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss and a pick. Dylan Tatum, Jordan Hall, Zion Young, Derek Harmon, big fella in the middle. You go ahead, have your pick. There's so many.
We needed another takeover. We needed one turnover, one more.
Yeah,
that one where Powell loses his feet, but he's trying to get there. That would have closed it out.
That was it. We're up. We're up by 3 with 340 to go in the game.
Dylan's pound for pound, covering the receiver. The ball, he's playing the man, but not the ball. If he'd have played that ball, that's a pick 6. In my opinion, 2-1 would have had a pick 6. Malik Spencer, that deep route where he played the player, the ball was overthrown. He could have easily played that ball and got that pick. Like, if you look at it, play it back.
Yeah.
Those are those things where people are like, oh, man, like another one. No, those are those small details that if you take the advantage, this is a different ball game. But
game of inches. That's the
this boy Zion Young was in that backfield every time, every down. And
4.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. He leads the team in both categories.
And we cannot forget about Malik Hall. This man.
Oh, no.
Dog, like Spartan Nation, you have to understand, we cannot lose these guys. We can't lose Zion Young. We can't lose Malik Hall. We can't lose Malik Spencer. We can't lose
Jordan Hall.
Sorry, I said Malik. Look, I'm in basketball. Thank you for the correction. Edit that, Tony L. We cannot lose Jordan Hall. We can't lose Mangum because Mangum's hurt right now. But as a safety, think about it. Now, I want to give kudos to one of our DBs, our safeties, walk-on from Lansing Catholic, who came in, and that's where I felt like Coach Barnett did a great job, man. Like, through all the chaos, the body of work we put out there, the product, all of our guys could have easily hung up the cleats and said, I'm no longer playing. Like, all of our guys could have did that. But like you said, there was no quit. It was like, you know what? It's still football at the end of the day, man. You get to play this game, beautiful game we all love. And I valued and measured the heart. And the Spartan Nation, our guys, our heart is at the ultimate high, man. So all we need is those turnovers, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, Coach D came over to me when Malik Spencer dropped. He was like, we got to get him to catch one of those. Like, it's hitting his hands. We got to – if he catch – this is a top safety in the league in Big Ten. Like, as a sophomore, he's that guy. He is that guy. And I said that preseason. He's that guy. And we need to make sure. And he's coming thumping too. But we just need to put everybody body to work, man. Everybody's got to bring their A game, and I think we'll be great for next week. So I'm looking forward to breaking down, getting ready for Rutgers.
Without question, Malik Spencer, we got a chance to meet his father, Block, from down there in the ATL, the music producer, mogul type of guy. Hey man, shook his hand. I thought he was a dog. I was like, "You a Spartan Dog?" He was at the Spartan Dog dinner with us. He's like, "No, I'm Malik Daddy." I said, "Oh, okay, you're a Block." Understand, the DNA is strong in that boy, and he's real. He's a real one. Look, all the players, I mean, like you said, you just mentioned how close they are. This is a bye week. They're getting healthy, and I'm sure they're going to digest a lot of this film and see the plays that were left on the field. I mean, this is not a team that, we got to bring in 100 new guys in order to get a Colorado overhaul here. The talent is here. The coaching obviously is here. Just lost one guy, okay? And this coaching nucleus, the leadership is strong within this team. So we're praying for you guys to come on and continue and just get over the hump. We're not even halfway through the season yet, but you have a bye. Let's prepare for Rutgers, which is coming up next week, which you're going to break down a lot of those details and talk more about Spartan athletics as a whole. Otis, look, this was a great show today. It was really good to have Jordan Main from Main Financial Group on to talk all kinds of stuff on how to create brand you for all the NIL situations that are out there, and also retirement. This is a big thing in the United States right now with the recession looming. So there's a lot of things that he can help ease some anxiety for a lot of people. Really happy to have everybody on the show. Otis, thank you. And don't forget, one more time, put up the graphic for Otis's Dancing with the Local Stars. This is coming up here Friday, October 6th. That's tomorrow at the Crown Plaza in Eastland. Can we get that on stream for those who aren't in town?
Yeah, I should have that Facebook link so people can watch. So I'll make sure we'll post it on social.
We're gonna put it right here.
Yep. We'll post it on social. I don't have it just yet, but we put it on social so you can stream it. I am the last act, so I got to sit there and watch all the competition, and then you're gonna end with the closing finale, baby. Shout out to my partner Chelsea. Chelsea is the manager of F45, so I work out every day. She is the professional dancer, but we've been putting a little bit of small shows in front of our peers and our gym membership family there at F45. But these knees, man, like I tell you, I got to go ahead and go ice bath and
put that ice on them, man. Yeah. Get deep in it. See if they let you go over there to the Duff, man, and get some ice.
Ice and stem.
Yes, sir. No, man, I appreciate that. Anybody, don't forget to pass the collection plate either, because he's in 6th place. That's way too bad. We could do better than that. This is Sparta MSU family. For Otis Wiley, Jehuu Caulcrick, who's somewhere on assignment, and I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. We'll see you next week. Have a good night. God bless you, and go green.
All right.
This is Sparta MSU is a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Tony LaBarbera, Tony Gustella, and Process Driven Consulting. Additional support is provided by Brendan Duravage. On-location technical support provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our host Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest This is Sparta news, please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree, and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.